You may turn off your camera just in case. Make sure lang po na naka-earphone kayo, no? Since nasa library kayo, baka po ma-call out na naman yung attention ko that I am discussing in the class and naka-loudspeaker ako dyan sa library sa inyo. Okay, so this is now a new topic for a while. Ay, wait lang. Bakit naka-presented po siya? Okay, never mind. Okay, again, good afternoon, everyone. So this is a new topic, and this is part of chapter 3. So if you can recall, most of our discussion for chapter 1 would involve about understanding what really is the self, right? We dwell more on the philosopher's idea of the self. And once we touch chapter 2, it's more on the unpacking of the self. We identify the physical and the sexual self, the material self, the digital self, the political self. And what else? Material, spiritual, politika. So this afternoon, we will be starting a new lesson, and this is more on how we can better manage and take care of ourselves. We all know that the self is already existing, and as a person, it is evolving, no, it's growing, it's evolving, it's developing, it's adapting. And therefore, as a learner, as we are right now, we hope to understand better how we better learn so that we can, of course, improve ourselves more. So there are 3 lessons under this chapter, and this is the first topic we are going to cover this afternoon. And next week, we will be starting about lesson 2. For lesson 2, the coverage here will be on self-efficacy, how to become goal-oriented individual. We're going to touch about mindset and so on and so forth. And the last topic will be less stress, more care. We will be understanding what is stress, what does it do to our body, no, ano yung epekto nito sa katawan natin, at anong pwede nating magawa so that we would be able to prevent ourselves from exhaustion. At the same time, ma-prevent din natin na mag-weaken yung system natin and eventually will lead to our death. So this chapter or this lesson hopes to accomplish all of the following objectives we have set here. Now, may I ask a volunteer from our class to read to us the 3 major objectives we hope to cover for this lesson? Any volunteer would like to read? Yes, Manuela. Thank you.
Wow.
Manuela, go on.
Ay. Ay, sorry, hindi ko marinig.
Okay na, okay na.
Lesson objective. At the end of this lesson, the student will be able to explain how learning occurs, enumerate various metacognition and studying techniques, and identify the techniques that they find most appropriate for themselves.
Okay, thank you, Manuela. Now, just to start with, did you answer the metacognitive awareness inventory tool that I asked of you to answer last time? Sino sa inyo yung naka-answer? Mag-thumbs up lang. Did you answer it? Yes or no? Sino naka-answer? I will be requiring you to submit that later on, no? Mag-post ako ng task sa Quipper essay po ninyo. So let me know if kung sino na yung naka-answer. Wala. So si Mr. Pascual lang, how about for the rest? No? So make sure you already have a copy of it later on. I'll be allowing you to post it in our Quipper so that I can browse it ahead and you will be asked to create short reflection paper about that one. And please expect that we will try our best to finish it until 2 only this day because I'll be posting a quiz Alright, after via your Quipper po. So please pay attention so that you'll be able to answer the quiz later on. It's a brief and short quiz, but it will cover all of the topic we will be discussing this afternoon. So for those who were not yet able to have the metacognitive awareness inventory, make sure you already have it right now. Okay, so these are all the things we hope to uncover and learn, no, this afternoon. So, sabi dito, when we know ourselves, it's not really enough, no, that we know ourselves, since who we are is partly made of our choices, and you must also have the ability to choose, especially to become a better you. So when we know ourselves, of course, we should also be aware of what are other things we can do to further develop who we are right now. So this is more on self-regulation actually, class, no? Because we know ourselves, we should be able to control ourselves, our desires, our emotions, and therefore create meaningful decisions. A person with a good mental health would be able to create good decisions for meaningful relationship. At the same time, work on the self, no? Particularly its specific growth. So sabi dito, when we learn something or when we go to school, learning should not just mean studying for your quizzes and exams in school. So who among you here that when you study and when you take the examination, it is as if na nakakalimutan na ninyo lahat-lahat ng natutunan ninyo for the next trienal. No, parang meron kayong feeling na gano'n, na when you take this topic or when you take this exam, after you answer the exam, the following week nakalimutan na natin yung mga topics. Kasi if that would be the case, and therefore the type of learning that is happening within you is not effective. You would know that learning is taking place, no, in the context of psychology if there's already a change in our behavior. Again, malalaman mo that the person is already learning if there is now a change in behavior in the positive way. So therefore, those things that you do not know before and you have encountered in class should be integrated within yourself to create meaningful change within you. So sabi dito, when we go to the school, it is not only for us to memorize a lot of things, no? You also have to know how are you going to apply that to yourself and what are the contexts to where you are going to apply or not going to apply what you know. So I hope that as a type of a learner that you are more looking into the bigger picture. No, why are you studying nursing? Why are you studying that specific course? Are you just there to memorize the parts of the body, how to do the return demonstration, or what's the bigger picture of what you are learning as an individual? So I have asked of you to answer your metacognitive awareness inventory, and I hope you did that one, no? So let us try to go over what are the contents of this metacognitive awareness inventory. So doon sa metacognitive awareness inventory, kung nag-scoring kayo, you would be able to see that for each true thing, or di ba, you have given a true na response, you're going to give yourself 1 point. And if it's false, 0. So hindi ibig sabihin na dapat true lahat-lahat yung answer mo diyan para mas mataas yung score mo, no? Kasi itong cognitive awareness inventory, tinitingnan niya kung anong type of learner ka. So therefore, you are going to total the score in each category, and you're going to read descriptions relating to each sections. So now, yung metacognitive awareness inventory nyo na inansaran class, may mga different type of knowledge na ipapakita doon. The first one is declarative knowledge. When we say declarative knowledge, the factual knowledge the learner needs before being able to process or use critical thinking related to the topic. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung knowledge that will contain about information relating to about, what, or that. So, ibig sabihin yung kung ano. So, for example, you're going to take your major subject exam. Kailangan mo munang malaman kung ano yung component, ano yung dapat mong pag-aralan. So that's a declarative knowledge. So knowledge of one's skill, intellectual resources, and abilities as a learner. So if you are required to do this specific thing, ano yung skill na meron ka? If merong assignment, merong task, ano yung meron sa'yo na makakatulong, no, sa paggawa mo ng task na nire-require sa'yo? That is part of the declarative knowledge. So students can obtain knowledge through presentations, demonstrations, and discussions. So in your classes, most of the time, there will be discussion, there will be presentation, pinapa-report kayo, pinapa-present kayo, right? May reporting po ba sa major subjects ninyo? Meron po ba? Yes or no? Do you report?
Yes,
May
ma'am,
mga group work
meron.
kayo. Okay. So what is the main purpose of that? Of course, so that you would know what to know. No? Kailangan nating malaman. Kasi class, knowledge is important for cognition. Ibig sabihin, you would not be able to think of something if you don't have any available na information, kumbaga. Kumbaga, mas nagiging improve yung process of cognition natin if meron tayong knowledge ngayon. Para siyang the knowledge that you gain would enable you to be more creative in how you think. So that's the purpose of declarative knowledge. So of course, makakakuha tayo ng mga information through the lecture, through the presentation, discussion, just like what we're doing right now. You would know what is declarative knowledge because we are talking about what is declarative knowledge. Okay? So clear po ba sa atin ano ibig sabihin ng declarative knowledge? May I just see a thumbs up from everybody? Clear, clear? Okay, si Danny lang. All the rest siguro baka nag-share screen or nag-share device lang. Okay, now please hold on to the idea of declarative knowledge ha kasi po lahat tayo mayroong declarative knowledge. Next, procedural. So the word procedural came from the word or from the root word procedure. So, ibig sabihin, yung process kung paano gagawin. This is now the application of knowledge for the purposes of completing a procedure or process. So, before you do your return demonstration sa nursing, ano yung unang ginagawa sa inyo? Ano yung unang ginagawa sa classroom ninyo before kayo ipapa-return demonstration ng teacher ninyo? Ano ba yung mga preparation na ibinibigay or ginagawa before the official return demonstration? Yes, Princess.
Nang ginaklase, ma'am, before, ginaklase ka gina-explain tarong before itudlo ang proper nga pagdating sa ila.
Okay, very good. So let's try to give an example. Ano yung pinakaunang return demonstration ninyo na task?
Proper hand washing.
Okay, proper hand washing. So before you are allowed to do the return demonstration on how to properly wash your hand, ano yung mga materials na ibinigay sa inyo ng teacher ninyo? Nagbigay ba ng handouts? Nagbigay ba ng sample? Ano ba? Sample performance on how to do the proper hand washing? May mga videos ba? Meron ba? Okay, very good. Kasi nga, gusto nating matutunan na kung papaano i-carry out step by step yung nalalaman natin. Kanina, doon sa declarative knowledge, ibinigay lang sa inyo ng teacher yung handouts. Pinapakita sa inyo ano yung importansya, bakit kailangan mag-proper hand washing, ano yung consequence. For example, if hindi nagpa-proper hand washing, saan ba dapat tayo nagpa-proper hand washing? Those are part of the declarative knowledge. Now, kailangan mo yung part na yon for you to be able to perform something. And that's the reason why your teachers have provided you a lot of information, resources for you to carry out properly. So the knowledge of about how to implement the learning procedures, the strategy, ano po ba yung dapat mauuna, no, in terms of hand washing? Kailangan ba mag-una sabon or basuna na ang kamot or whatever? Those are part of the procedure. If you're going to wear or if you're going to ride a bicycle, ano yung dapat mong unahin? If you're going to wash dishes, ano yung dapat unahin? Yung kaldero ba? Yung pinggan ba? Yung baso ba? That's part of the procedural knowledge. Kapag nagsistudy kayo, ano ba yung dapat unahin? Yung pinakamahirap or yung pinakamadali? Or yung pinakamadami or yung pinakakonte? So that is a part of the procedural knowledge. So this would require student know the process as well as when to apply the process in various situations. Just like what I told you kanina. Kailan ba dapat tayo nag-hand washing? Sige, based on your lecture sa major, when are we supposed to do a hand washing or to perform hand washing? Kailan dapat naghuhugas ng kamay? Kailan? Anong sabi sa inyo? Kailan dapat naghuhugas ng kamay? Hmm? Before and after. Before and after ng ano? Before and after what? Before and after eating? Ano pa? Saang mga circumstances pa na dapat tayo naghuhugas ng kamay? Okay, before and after meeting the patient daw. So yung mga answer ninyo kanina sa akin, ito mga before and after eating, before and after meeting the patient, is part also of your procedural knowledge. Kasi dapat malaman mo kailan, saan mo siya dapat gamitin. So the students also can obtain knowledge to discovery, cooperative learning, and problem solving. Do you know what is cooperative learning? Have you tried this one in some of your classes? Sa akin, nagawa na natin ito, no? Do you know what's cooperative learning? Yes, Princess.
The cooperative learning, ma'am, which is like, halimbawa sa studies, is brainstorming, ka-groupings.
Okay, very good. Brainstorming, groupings. So in our class, do you remember a time when you were grouped together to do something or to think of something? Yes, Princess.
The time, ma'am, tong nagpa-activity ka nga, yung parang role-playing, that is the example of cooperative learning po.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the response, Princess. So from the word cooperate, no, we are going to learn by also interacting with other classmates kasi nga, hindi naman natin monopolize yung information, hindi naman natin monopolize yung learning. We better learn if we interact with other classmates, we listen to their ideas, no, to their example. Sometimes, hindi natin naisip na, ay, oo, no, pwede nga pala. Pero when your classmate have shared this one in class, you would understand na, ay, tama nga. Yes, that's correct. So that's why I also enjoy doing that certain tasks, no, wherein you will be grouped, you will be made to report in front, no, based on what you have discussed among yourselves. Kasi nga, mas natututo tayo kapag nakakapag-interact din tayo with other people. So, sabi dito, mas natututo yung tao when we try to discover, to do cooperative learning, and even problem solving. Kaya nga may mga subjects though that we are allowed or we are asked to do or to solve something. Sa amin sa psychology, we will be given a case. We have to identify what is the diagnosis or the proposed diagnosis considering the manifestation, the signs and the symptoms of the client. So that those are all part of the procedural knowledge. Now, do we understand the difference between declarative and procedural knowledge? Is it clear with everybody? Okay. Si Princess lang nag-like. How about for the rest? Si Danny. Okay. Now, let's move to the third type of knowledge. We have here the conditional. So for conditional knowledge, this is the determination under what circumstances specific processes or skills should transfer. So kanina sa declarative, it's about the about, what, or that. The how for procedural. Si conditional is to when and why. So this is the knowledge about when and why to use learning procedures, application of declarative and procedural knowledge with certain conditions presented, and students can obtain simulation knowledge through simulation. So bakit pa natin dapat gawin ito? Kung alam na natin, for example, na ito yung dapat gawin at paano siya gawin, dapat alam din natin kung saan natin dapat gawin at kailan natin dapat gawin. Those are parts of the conditional knowledge. Like for example, in our case, so we are learning the code of ethics. That's part of the declarative knowledge. So tinuturo sa psychology student kung bakit dapat ganito yung pagbe-behave namin towards our client. That's part of declarative. In the procedural, example, the lesson is about confidentiality and privacy. Pagdating sa procedural, tuturuan kami kung paano namin mai-instill yung confidentiality and privacy. Pagdating sa conditional knowledge naman, ituturo sa amin kung kailan pwedeng i-break ang confidentiality ng client natin. Kasi 'di ba, we know that very important naman talaga that all of the information we get from our client is confidential. This is not just on the side of the psychology but also on your side as future nurses. So however, there are limitations wherein pwede naming i-breach yung confidentiality ng client namin sa psychology. Especially if there is imminent danger, no? Example, nagsabi yung client namin na nagpaplano siya na bombahan ang St. Alexius College, no? Example lang. Of course, as a counselor or as a therapist, we have to divulge that information to authorities and even to St. Alexius College administration so that ma-prevent natin yung possible na bombahan gid sang client namon ang St. Alexius College. Now, ang question, is it ano ba, may na-break ba ako na code of ethics when I did that one? The answer is no. Because in the code of ethics, if there is already a danger, the professional has the duty to warn. Ibig sabihin, kailangan naming i-warn yung tao na pwedeng mapahamak because also of the possibility na gawin ng client namin yung pinaplano niya. So that is now part of the conditional knowledge, no? You have now the idea when and where are you going to apply what you have known as part of the declarative knowledge. So that's the reason why we better learn when we simulate. That's why you do your return demonstration. So the declarative, the procedural, and the conditional knowledge are not really totally separate forms of knowledge. They are very much connected. Kasi we would not know the terms of when and why are we going to perform something if we do not even know in the first place if what are we going to perform? Naintindihan nyo ba yung connection niya, class? Am I making sense here right now? May I ask a response, please? May gets nyo ba? Paano mo malalaman kung kailan mo gagawin ang isang bagay kung hindi mo naman alam kung anong dapat mong gawin? So therefore, declarative, procedural, and conditional are all connected. Does it make sense? May I see hard reactions from everybody? Okay. So again, hindi po sila totally separated. They work hand in hand and they are supporting each other. But of course, the conditional and the procedural knowledge is also dependent on the declarative knowledge. Now, moving on. So there are types of regulation of cognition in the metacognitive awareness inventory you took. So what are parts of this regulation of cognition? We have the planning, the information management strategy, the comprehension monitoring, debugging strategy, and evaluation. So when you say cognition, class, of course, it's the process of how our mind thinks. What we perceive will be needed for it to be processed, no? Yung process kung paano ginugroup together ng mind natin yung mga bagay-bagay na nakikita natin, yung mga experiences na nangyayari sa life natin, how it forms connection from each other. So, in planning, kapag your type of regulation of cognition is planning, you plan, you set goals, you allocate resources prior to learning. Example, if you're going to study for an upcoming examination, what do you usually do first? Now, like example, nung second triennial, may exam kayo sa isang subject. Ano yung ginagawa mo, no, before the examination or a couple of days before the examination? Yes, Princess.
First, ma'am, is mag-study ka, tapos i-relocate mo tong tanan nga topics, studyhan mo tong na klase bago ka sa exam.
Okay,
Mag-encounter. Thank you.
very good. So that's for Princess. So sabi ni Anton, mag-review po ng mga lessons. So before ka mag-review ng lessons, it's correct. You will spend more time grouping together your handouts, your notes, no, or any material that is part of that subject that will allow you to recall What are those topics that you have discussed within the whole triennial period? So that is part of planning kasi you allocate your resources prior to learning. Yung kailangan mo munang i-ready lahat ng mga bagay na kailangan mo or gagamitin mo for your learning or for your review session to be more effective. Or are you the type of the student na during the triennial na nagda-discuss kayo, you are really diligently doing, ano yun, naga-note taking kayo, naga-notes kayo, or naga-notes pa ba kayo or puro na lang screenshot, picture ng mga slides ni ma'am at ni sir? Nagsusulat pa po ba kayo? Ha? Or ano na lang, papasa na lang picture sa classmates. Okay, so because note taking is also ano, no, a very effective strategy to help us recall. Mas ma-remember mo kung ikaw yung nagsulat kesa sa photocopy mo lang yung mga references. So again, how do you manage your regulate or do you regulate your cognition? The first is planning. So you allocate your resources prior to you going to the session. So if this is, for example, in the classroom setting, if your teacher is telling you that it is expected that you will have to cover this specific lesson, no, you're already reading in advance the materials that has been sent by your teacher. You're already looking into the component, the content of the topic so that pagdating sa klase, magtatanong ka na lang sa teacher mo ng mga bagay na hindi natin alam. So that's the reason why teachers try their best to share to you their handouts prior to the class, no? So that may time kayo to check and browse. Pagdating sa klase, discussion na lang. So in other cases, may mga tinatawag kayo na flip classroom, no? Flip classroom. Yung nangyari minsan dito class is mag-upload si teacher ng mga materials, ng mga notes, ng mga videos. Pagdating sa klase, hindi na siya kailangan mag-discuss. So ang gagawin na lang ninyo, mag-activity kayo that is related to the topic that the teacher have posted prior to meeting you in the face-to-face class. So this is an approach. Pero sometimes na hindi naiintindihan ng mga estudyante yung ganitong approach. They think the teachers, tamad ang teachers na nag-upload lang ng ganito, hindi na diniscuss sa klase, nag-activity na lang. But that is the idea of a flipped classroom kasi we're trying to ensure that you also take responsibility of your learning process. Na dapat kayo din na nagtatry yung best ninyo na matutunan yung mga bagay-bagay ahead of time so that pagdating sa klase, more on questions kayo sa teacher, more on asking for examples, or more on sharing now with your classmates. Okay? So that is flipped classroom. Now, aside from the planning, we also have information management strategy. So the skills and strategic use sequences used to process information more efficiently, organizing, elaborating, summarizing, selective focusing. So itong information management strategy, usually, di ba, it is expected na marunong ka mag-group together ng mga idea na ito connected, ito siya dito, na ito yung ibig sabihin ng ganito. So parang sinasabi dito class that when you learn, hindi lang na binabasa mo lang siya. Tinitingnan mo, iniintindi mo yung mga bagay-bagay. Kasi 'di ba, it's easier sometimes na i-browse lang yung notes. Pero dapat kung gusto mo na maging effective talaga yung learning mo, you have to spend more time reading between the words and then browse na lang para mas naintindihan mo na siya, no? So that's part of the information management strategy. Of course, aside from that is the comprehension monitoring, the assessment of one's learning or strategy use. So this is the reason why teachers most of the time would ask you, do you understand the lesson? Do you have any questions? And most of the time, ano yung answer ninyo? Anong answer ninyo class most of the time? Do you have any question? Do you understand the lesson? Ano sagot nyo? None, ma'am. Understood, ma'am. 'Di ba? We are all very much guilty of that. But you know what? In the comprehension monitoring, you are a type of the learner na tinitingnan mo, naiintindihan ko ba ito? Tama po ba? Na-gets ko ba siya? Kung hindi, then that would be the time you have to do something. If you do not have the courage to ask your teacher, most of the time you can ask an eligible classmate or you can consult other resources. Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi mo naintindihan, pabay na da. Basta hindi man na magawa sa exam. Pero most of the time, yung mga topic na inaayawan natin or disregard natin are all of the times lumalabas sa exam. So dapat naiintindihan natin. Hindi ibig sabihin na dapat memorize mo siya. Kailangan naiintindihan mo lang. Just like for example, no, my own experience class in the psychologist board exam. Hindi ko ma-realize kung na-topic ba siya sa masters namin yung mga parts ng exam. Hindi ko memorize yung mga symptoms, no, ng mga specific disorders. Kasi in reality, when you practice as a psychologist, you will have a guide naman. Meron kang DSM-5. Pero pagdating doon sa board exam, you are really asked to memorize. So what I do is, in the process of studying, even though na konti lang yung mastudihan ko, as long as naiintindihan ko lahat bawat ng item na na-cover ng nastudihan ko, enough na yun siya. Kasi nga, comprehension would really matter. Sometimes it's easier for us to read, but do we really understand what we are reading? No, I hope you try to practice more your comprehension ability. Next is the debugging strategies to correct comprehension and performance error. So kung nagmali ka, what are you going to do next, no? So if hindi effective yung strategies mo, what are you going to do next? Kasi sometimes we hold on to certain strategies because we think it is helpful for us, where in fact hindi na pala siya helpful. So we have to debug our strategy. And lastly, the analysis of performance and strategy effectiveness after a learning episode. So ang part nitong evaluation class is yung mga post-test. Yung post-test kayo. Like for example, when you study, gumagawa kayo ng mga sample items or naghahanap kayo ng sample items wherein you're going to answer. Nag-try ba kayo ng ganyan? Or minsan, yung libro, kina-cover ninyo yung word and then i-guess nyo siya based sa definition. That's part of evaluation, yung mga post-test. Kaya nga sa mga review session, ang daming pre-test and post-test because we would like to evaluate naiintindihan ba natin yung coverage natin as of now. So these are part of the regulation of cognition, no? Do we have any question as to each of the item? Or do you have any other thing to add na baka hindi ko na-cover ng mga important example as well? You can just give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Okay, yes, Princess, do you have any question or sharing?
Ma'am, excuse ma'am, about regulation of cognition, ma'am. Pwede ba makasali dito ang kuan ma'am, ang kasi na mga case study kag mga ano ng like ano case study kag to isa pa gid ma'am tong
Case
gina-defense.
analysis? Case
Yeah.
analysis?
Oh, case
Okay.
analysis ma'am, yeah.
That's you mean makatulong ba siya para mas ma-learn mo yung isang bagay? Is that your question?
Oo ma'am, kag
Yes.
kung part po na sa regulation of cognition.
Yes
Do.
po. Yes po. That's particularly sa planning ka. Kasi the case studies are real life or real or hypothetical case scenarios that can serve as your resources to better understand the occurring topic that you are currently studying right now. Example, hindi namin maintindihan ano nga ba talaga ang depression if we would not be able to see a real case or a hypothetical case of a person suffering from depression. So therefore, the way you see it, mas naiintindihan mo, mas nagkakaroon ng picture kung ano ibig mong sabihin if meron kang mga examples na napoprovide. So that's still part of how you regulate your cognition by finding other sources which will be part of your planning. And of course, when you find another sources, you have read of these examples, might improve din yung comprehension mo about the topic that you're studying. Did I answer your question? Is it clear? Princess? Wala pa ba si Princess? Okay. Sige. Next.
Opo, ma'am. Clear na po. Thank you
So ito
po.
na, may question dito. No? Do you agree with the results of your MAI? I want you to answer this in your book, ha? Meron yung sa book nyo, page... Wait lang. Page... That's page 114 of your book. I want you to put your answers there, ha? Personally, I'll check this one next meeting lang po. So would you agree with the results of your MAI? Why or why not? And make a list of your top 5 tips or secrets for studying based on your personal experience and preference, and share a list with the class. So we will try to have a sharing of this one next meeting. And thus your MAI result consistent with your personal top 5 tips and secrets for studying. I'll leave this task for you to do on your own, and we will do a sharing next meeting. So, abstraction. So we are the wise men, but being called wise, not only do we think, but we are also capable to think about thinking, like how we think of things and why we think in a certain way about things. Para siyang para siya tang twister. Pero yung ibig niya lang sabihin, class, is because mga rational beings tayo, we are gifted with this ability to think. Dapat we have to hone this more. Kasi you would know that the person is really knowledgeable if the person thinks kung paano siya nag-iisip at kung ano yung iniisip niya at kung bakit niya iniisip yung iniisip niya. So in other words, to put it into other words, just like for the context of psychological health, according to Alfred Adler, yung isang tao na psychologically healthy, alam niya kung ano yung ginagawa niya at kung bakit niya ginagawa yung ginagawa niya. Kasi nga sabi ni Sigmund Freud, we are very much unconscious daw. Hindi natin alam yung ginagawa niya. Pero sabi ni Adler, malalaman mo na yung isang tao is considered to be psychologically healthy if the person knows what he is doing. So therefore, malalaman mo na isang tao is matalino talaga, if iniisip niya kung paano siya nag-iisip. At therefore, aware siya kung ano yung alam niya sa hindi niya alam. Tapos kung alam niya yung isang bagay, of course, ini-improve niya pa kung ano yung nalalaman niya. At kung hindi niya alam, naghahanap siya ng paraan para malaman niya yung sagot sa mga katanungan na basta nagpasabad-sabad sa mind niya. Gumagambala, that's the term. So, in the context of learning, we have this what we call metacognition. So, yung metacognition is meta, higher level cognition. So, ibig sabihin dito, this is now a part where you're able to think about how you think, how you process information, paano ka ba nagpa-process, ano yung mga techniques mo sa pagsa-study, nag-aaral ka ba, what is effective to you may not be effective to other people. Some other people, mas gusto nila nakikinig sa music. Yung iba, gusto nila, they are doing things pa muna. May mga ritual sila bago mag-study. Yung iba naman is, it's effective if it's done early in the morning or late at night. Whatever works for you, you should be able to use that one to improve what you learn right now. So, and those who do not reflect on their learning methods. So, you have a higher chance daw of improving your learning process than those who do not reflect on their learning methods. Kasi part dito, class, yung idea kung naintindihan mo ba yung mga bagay na pinag-aaralan mo ngayon. Like example, di ba? For example, sa exam ninyo sa GE4, I don't know lang if this is also done in your other subject. The reason why I am doing the test rationalization so that maintindihan natin bakit tayo nagmali, Bakit tayo nagkamali at ano yung tamang answer at bakit naging ganon ang tamang answer. And we have to provide reference or additional information to support that becomes the answer, So that is why we do the test rationalization to improve your cognition more. Now, under the metacognitive knowledge are several variables that affect how you know or assess yourself as a thinker. Meron tayong tatlo, the personal, the task, and the strategy. So, sa personal variable, class, ito yung evaluation mo of your strength. Dapat alam mo yung mga bagay na mahina ka no? Ano ba yung mga bagay na hindi ka masyado magaling, nahihirapan kang matutunan? Example, mathematics, no? Madali ba para sa'yo ang mag-solve? Kasi sa ibang classmate natin napakadali lang para sa kanila, no? So therefore, you should be able to know ano yung kaya mo at hindi mo kayang gawin. Ano yung alam mo at hindi mo alam gawin. So that's part of the personal variable. The second is the task variable. So it is about what you know or what you think about the nature of the task as well as what strategies the task require. So example, merong assignment, merong task na ibinigay sa inyo. So kaya ko ba to? Kung kaya ko, tingnan ko nga kung ano yung tasks, no? Ano yung kinakailangan ng task. So ito yung required na dapat meron akong ganito, dapat marunong akong maganito, meron ba akong ganitong ability? So that is part of the task variable. Now, the strategy variable would refer to what strategies or skills you already have in dealing with certain tasks. So ano ba yung kailangan? No? Ano ba yung kailangan natin na gawin? Ano ba yung meron sa akin na pwedeng makatulong para ma-improve ko yung task na gagawin ko or ma-perform ko yung task na required sa akin. So these are the 3 variables na dapat meron tayo. And you know what? The most important talaga is self-awareness. You should be aware of what you know, what you don't know, no? Na dapat walang pretensions. Minsan kasi natatakot tayo mag-ask ng questions sa mga teacher. So we always pursue or we always carry out inside the class na, gets ko na yan siya, ma'am. Pero if you really would like to become a metacognitive learner, you try your best to ask question. Kaya really, I appreciate yung mga estudyante na nagtatanong, no, kapag may mga hindi na clear sa discussion, ina-ask nila sa teacher. Okay? So however, it must be noted, sabi ko na nga kanina dito sa inyo class, yung self-awareness natin, dapat meron ka ding okay na self-awareness so that you will have a proper or correct self-appraisal or self-punishment work. Ibig sabihin, dapat accurate yung assessment mo sa sarili mo na nagigets mo, na hindi mo nagigets, no? You must be honest about what you know and capable of in order to find ways to utilize your strength and your weakness. Kasi hindi mo alam anong gagawin mo next. Kasi hindi mo naiintindihan what are you going to do, right? So just like yung may mga estudyante minsan na alam naman nila na deadline ganitong oras, ang dami pang rason. Because it has been set supposedly to you that this is the deadline, you have to plan your way, no, to meet the deadline. Hindi yung doon ka pa sa deadline, ang dami mo pang reason na ibibigay. No, dapat i-change natin yung behavior na yon kasi that is not a good practice of a better learner. If there is a task at hand, you have to think and plan ahead of time how are you going to meet the demand. And that is part of the personal, task, and the strategy variables. So this would affect how you know and assess yourself as a thinker. Now, you review your MMA results and your answers during the analysis. Again, I would like you to do this one na po sa book ninyo. No? Gusto ko lang i-assess ninyo yung mga results na nangyari or na lumabas. Nag-agree ba kayo doon? No? Do you think it would represent you really as a learner? If not, you may provide a reason bakit hindi ka nag-agree. So rather than dismissing the test or the results, if you feel any incongruence to your perception, try to analyze if your answers were accurate and think of the specific instances when you were learning something. Okay. Think also of various factors that make that learning experience successful and enjoyable for you, including your emotions and motivations at certain point, no? So are you motivated in answering the test? Nag-enjoy ka ba? Kung hindi naman, I hope you realize and become true, no, to your approach talaga so that makita mo yung totoong answer or totoong results sa MAI mo. So here are the other skills that might help you with exercising metacognition. The first is knowing your limits, modifying your approach, skimming, rehearsing, and self-test. So knowing your limits, sabi ko nga sa inyo, kailangan alam natin yung strength at yung weaknesses natin, no? Ano yung hindi natin alam. Kasi kapag alam natin na hindi natin siya alam, then dapat yun yung pagtuunan natin ng pansin. For me, there are 4 major subjects in our board exam. Meron talaga dyan class isa na medyo hindi talaga ako gano'n ka-confident. So because yun yung medyo weakness ko, siya talaga yung inuna kong pag-aralan, no, among the 4 subjects so that I have more time to spend studying. Now, also another one, in the subjects ng psychology, merong isang subject na medyo kinakatakutan ko, industrial and organizational psychology. And because natakot ako doon, yun yung pinag-aralan ko and I took the certification test for me to ensure na natutunan ko nga talaga siya or hindi. And gladly naman nakapasa. So knowing your limits, dapat alam mo, no? At kung alam mo ano yung kaya mo at hindi mo kaya, at yung ginagawa mo ba helpful pa, you have to learn how to modify your approach. Nag-aaral ka ba ng 3 hours straight, 4 hours straight, 5 hours straight? If hindi na siya effective sa'yo, then maybe learn how to take a break. No, that's part of modifying our approach. Like for example, ang dami-dami mong pinag-aralan. Pagdating sa exam, na zero ka or mababa yung score mo. So saan kaya ang problema? You have to reflect. And next is skimming. Sa skimming kasi para kang naga-browse ka lang. No, like tingnan mo muna yung content ng handouts, content ng book, tingnan mo muna yung dapat mo ma-cover kasi at least ay may idea ka na ay okay, ito pala yung mga dapat kong tapusin. That's part of skimming. Next is rehearsing. Like for example, in your return demonstration, di ba? You do practice. You practice before the actual presentation. In that way, you master the skill no, on how to perform. Number 5 is self-test. This is the yung may mga post-test na tayo, no, ng mga item. Magpo-post-test na or hindi gani. Magpamangkutanay kita, uy pamangkutabal ako kung gets ko ni siya, uy mangkutontaman ka. That's part of the self-test. Yes, Princess, you're raising your hand.
Excuse ma'am, di daw sila makapasok sa Google Zoom ma'am.
Sino?
Si Bin Laden.
Yaman. Oo, connecting siya actually. Sila ni Shai, kagaina pa connecting. I don't know,
Ay
basta
ma'am.
hina lang
Si
ang
Ate
internet.
Shai ma'am.
Okay na ko pa siya na-admit, connecting gihapon siya.
Sige po, thank you ma'am.
Sila recorded man ni I'll send the recorded video later. Baka may connection problem lang on their end. Pero kanina ko pa sila nasa waiting room pa din sila pero admitted na, connecting lang. Okay, continue. Continue, I mean. So these are other strategies, asking questions, di ba? Dapat nagtatanong tayo. Minsan, natatakot yung magtanong pero I would really appreciate yung mga nagtatanong. Kasi minsan may mga nasasabi kayo na mas intensify, nagiging meaningful yung discussion. No? So questioning your methods. Ano ba yung description ng questioning of your methods here? Allow me to read lang sa book ninyo ha, for a while. Questioning your methods. So, sabi nila dito sa book, questioning your methods. Sana yun. Questioning your methods. So, atin siya need you to develop asking questions, questioning your methods, self-reflection, finding a mentor or support group, and thinking out loud. So, that is page... Thinking out loud. Lagi sa speech 117 and 118. Okay. So, ang general lang naman na idea nito class is how to become a better learner. Talaga is more on being honest lang in the first place. If you knew something, then better. If you don't know something, then do something so that you would better understand. No, and I hope you would appreciate yung mga rationalization ng mga teachers ninyo sa exams, sa quizzes, so that mas ma-improve no, yung comprehension, yung connection ng mga topic. And dito, finding a mentor or support group, of course, magtanong-tanong sa mga teachers, sa mga peer facilitators ninyo, sa mga classmates na mas nakakaalam about the topic. And thinking out loud. I guess sa thinking out loud, parang siyang private speech, no? Yung parang you you put into words your thoughts. Mas dali mo kasi ma-gets kung tama ba yung iniisip mo or hindi if you verbalize that one. And there are also other strategies here, sorry, welcoming errors as learning experience, no? So okay lang naman magkamali. Pero at least sa pagkakamali mo na yan, you understand bakit ka nagkamali so that when the next time around, you would know how to better answer the task or perform the task based on what you have learned from the previous time you encountered the question. So you have to be open, no? Kasi lahat naman talaga tayo nagkakamali. Ang importante lang natututo tayo sa ating mga pagkakamali. So there are also 4 types of metacognitive learners here. We have the tacit, the aware. Sa tacit, they are unaware of their metacognitive processes although they know the extent of their knowledge. Parang hindi ito nagre-reflect talaga na type ng mga learner. Yung aware naman, they are aware of some of their metacognitive strategies but using techniques are not always planned. So hindi nila pinaplano yung mga bagay-bagay na nile-learn nila. Yung kung ano lang, rada, sige okay na. Hindi sila siguro nagpe-prepare, walang planning, walang evaluation ng sarili nila, and so on. Si third is strategic. Sorry, this is strategic. Next is strategic. Strategize and plan their course of action toward our learning experience. And the last one is reflecting. Ito yung mga pinaka-best na type ng mga metacognitive learners kasi dito mo makikita na yung type ng learner is very proactive. No, proactive sila. Ibig sabihin, they really plan the course of their learning process. So, nagsa-strategize sila kung hindi na effective sa kanila, they do something no to work on that endeavor and nagre-reflect sila. Next, so the goal of metacognition is for a student to be self-regulated learner. Ito yung gusto ko i-remind niyo sa sarili niyo na hindi lahat ng bagay-bagay na di-discuss ng teacher sa classroom. So dapat maging self-regulated tayo. Tayo mismo ang nakakakilala sa sarili natin. So tayo dapat mismo ang gumawa ng hakbang para mas ma-improve yung sarili natin. So you have accomplished approximately 2 semesters here in St. Alexius College. So if may mga strategy kayo na ginagawa na helpful sa inyo, then pwede nyo siyang i-continue next semester. Kung hindi naman, try to reflect. Bakit kaya mababa pa din ang grade ko? Saan kaya ako nagkukulang? Bakit kaya nagmamali pa din ako kapag na-encounter ko yung mga questions na ganito? And so on and so forth. So dapat self-regulated tayo. Marunong tayo mag-regulate ng sarili natin, mag-reflect, at maging honest. No? So other tips in studying, madami dito, making an outline of the things you want to learn, the things you're reading or doing, and the things you remember. And breaking the task in smaller and more manageable details. So hindi effective yung magsa-study ka ng 10 chapters, 5 chapters in one night. So dapat ang studyhan mo class is at least 1 chapter lang muna ngayon or second chapter naman next meeting. And i-divide mo lang talaga siya. Kasi hindi kaya ng brain natin yung over na information na nare-receive natin. So, 3, integrating variation in your schedule and learning experience. Kaya nga effective yung mga Pomodoro technique, no? Sa Pomodoro, you're going to study for 20 minutes, rest for 5 minutes, and you're going to do that one for 4 cycle. So, mag-variation sa schedule mo, hindi na very rigid ang schedule mo. 5, for incubate your ideas. Dito, yung sinasabi ko kapag gumagawa kayo ng essay, kapag gumawa kayo ng essay, wag muna natin i-submit right away, no? Leave it for tonight. And then you would realize when you read it the next day, you have new information to add, you have better ideas because na-incubate mo yung ideas mo na yun. Number 5 is revising, summarizing, and taking down notes. Then rereading them might help you minimize cramming in the last minutes. Kaya importante yung nagte-take down notes talaga tayo. I hope you develop that habit no while you are still in your first year of for a while class. So where am I? Ayun, revising, summarizing, and taking notes. Habang first year pa lang kayo, dapat you develop that habit na of taking down notes talaga, no? Kasi nga, minsan hindi lahat nasa PowerPoint ng teacher. Yung iba may nasasabi sila in between, may mga example sila. So dapat nasusulat natin so that when we review, ma-recall natin na, ito yung sinabi ni ma'am. And you should also engage what you have learned. So dito, in your book, we are being told na dapat nag-underline tayo ng mga important concept. Yung iba nag-highlight, yung iba nga, iba-iba yung color ng highlighters. So mas natututo tayo kapag naha-highlight natin, na i-emphasize yung mga important na concepts. Okay? So in general, let us try to go back to our main objectives here, no? So how learning occurs? Paano nga ba tayo natututo? Of course, natututo tayo one step at a time, no? Pero malalaman talaga natin that learning is taking place if there's already a change in our behavior. So kapag tinuturuan kayo ng matamang asal, malalaman natin na natututo nga kayo if nagbabago yung behavior in the positive way. So, enumerate various metacognition and studying techniques. We have enumerated a lot of already kanina, but I want you to always remember that maybe some would not be helpful for you. Some would be helpful. You just have to continue the approach that works best for you. As long as at the end of the day, you should know how to reflect, no, in the things that you learn and you don't know, and identify the techniques that you find most appropriate for yourselves. So, metacognition is a very powerful word, no? And I hope we learn to become a better learner by thinking about how we think as a person, how we process information, how we retain information, and how we put this one into practice. So, do you recall the 3 types of knowledge that we have discussed a while ago? Ano nga yung tatlo? If you can recall. What's the first one? Ay, sorry. Yes, Manuel.
So yung three types is you have the personal variable, task variable, and the strategy variable.
How about yung type of knowledge? Knowledge. Declarative. Ano yung tatlo? We have declarative. The second, procedural, and ano?
Conditional po.
Conditional. Okay. So may mga types of metacognitive learners din tayo. So we have here, saan na yan? The tacit, the unaware, or the aware. Ito yung mga parang low level ng mga metacognitive learners. Yung parang hindi masyado nagtitake ng actions, no, in terms of their learning process. And our goal as learners is to become number 3 and become number 4. To reflect, to improve our reading comprehension, to improve our proficiency, no, in certain topics and stuffs like that. So again, I'd like to go back to this quote. The goal of metacognition is for the student to be a self-regulated learner. At the end of the day, ikaw ang nakakilala sa sarili mo. Help yourself also improve as a learner and as a citizen in general. So with that ends our discussion this afternoon. May I request everyone to turn on your camera. Please wait for a while. I'll be posting a quiz via your Quipper. You have to do that before 3 p.m. ends today. And I'd like you to post your ano nga yun dyan?